Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Galactopod, where we talk about a galaxy worth of different topics. My name is Nico.
My name is Logan.
And today we will be reviewing the Punisher special presentation that, at the time of recording, released last night on Disney+. A lot shorter than we thought it was going to be. We were told it was going to be 60 minutes. Ended up being like 45 without credits.
44 without credits.
Yeah, 44. Yeah, 44 without credits. So yeah, we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about how it kind of connects to like maybe what they might have planned for our second segment. But it'll probably be a shorter review just because we're not reviewing a whole show, an entire movie. It's a 40-minute thing. So
we're gonna be speaking on the most LARPed character of all time.
Who? Oh, Punisher.
Oh,
yeah, let's not get into that. We'll get in trouble.
No.
No, we're gonna move past that. You want to start with our pros or cons once we give our ratings?
I have very few cons, so we can start with
So
cons.
do I, yeah. You can start with cons? Okay, first we'll give our ratings for the brand new Punisher special presentation on 3.
I feel like there's going to be a slight disagreement here.
Maybe. 1, 2, 3, 8.
9 out of 10.
You gave it a 9?
No, 10.
Oh, you gave it a 10?
Yeah, I have it as a 10 out of 10. Because here's my thing.
Okay.
I gave Daredevil Born Again a 9.5, and there was very obvious flaws in that.
Yeah.
But on personal opinion, I liked it at 9.5. This is very clearly better than Daredevil Born Again to me.
I could see why you think that. I don't know if I'm there. Like, I might be, but I don't know.
This is very clearly better than Daredevil Born Again Season 2 for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's start with the cons. How many cons do you have first?
I have 3, but only one of them is an actual con.
I have like 1 con and 1 nitpick.
I have 2 nitpicks and 1 con.
Okay.
I'll start with the actual con because I'm assuming yours is the exact same thing.
Okay.
So, we were told this was going to be a bridge between Daredevil Born Again and Spider-Man Brand New Day. Mm-hmm. That is not what happened at all.
No.
In my personal opinion, we should have... I actually really liked the opening sequence. I really thought him in his room, him locking it up. I'm going to talk about the grave scene especially later. But...
We had multiple, though.
The first one. I'm talking about the opening. But the fact that we don't see Jean Grey at all in this, I think is worse than the Daredevil Born Again. Yeah. Not even just Jean Grey. The fact that we don't see anything with the hand or anything with Jean Grey, and especially knowing that's going to be practically
not even any slight tease or nothing. There's there's nothing.
Yeah, if we had seen
we were told this was going to be the bridge between both of the projects, and that this is pretty much we were told directly before Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you can make this directly before Brand New Day. Because from what we've seen, it seems like he already knows who Jean is at the start of the movie. And he's already kind of protecting her at the start of the movie. Where does he get his big-ass tank from?
The tank.
Where does he get that shit from?
Yeah, I mean, it really is just... I think it was mismarketed.
Maybe.
I do think they should have shown Jean Grey or some hints towards her.
Yeah.
But I do think they mismarketed this and set themselves up for failure. So I'm assuming that was your actual con?
No, it wasn't actually. Surprisingly, no. Now here's the thing with this. My one actual con is that in a way it is a pro because I kind of I'm assuming you're gonna talk about this later as well, but I use it as a con because I don't understand why they did it as writing wise for to connect it to other things. And that is, why would they fuel the Karen and Frank stuff after committing to the idea of her and Matt, fully committing to the idea of her and Matt in Born Again Season 2?
Because they're bringing Electro back. Bro.
It felt so stupid to me. Because we both agree we like Frank and Karen better than Karen and Matt. Yes, we agree with that.
I just don't think Karen suits Matt.
Right, okay, but we agree that relationship is better than the other relationship.
Yeah.
But my question, you already committed to one. So why are you playing kind of both sides here?
I wouldn't even say that they fully committed because I don't think Karen says I love you too at the end of Born Again. I don't think she does. I think Matt says I love you, and I don't think they ever show her saying it. But maybe I'm misremembering.
No, she did. She did.
Maybe I'm misremembering.
I'm so sure she did.
I don't think she said I love you too.
Should we pause the recording and check?
We're gonna pause the recording and check. Hold on.
Okay, we just checked. She did say I love you too. So, in season 2 of Born Again, yes, they did commit to them being together. So it's that's why I'm listen, as much as I like Frank and Karen better together, I don't like that they're like still playing both sides. After it's like if you're gonna commit to it, just commit to it.
I would argue they're not playing both sides though, because it was very obviously a hallucination from Frank. So
It is a hallucination, but like,
So it's just Frank. Like it's just Frank.
I mean, I get, but like you are kind of playing into it though.
I mean, you're playing into it.
But he was about to lean in to kiss her before that she fucking realized it was.
No, she leaned into him. That's kind of why I'm saying it's just Frank, because it's what he wants. It's his.
No, like when they hug, he then tries to lean in, and she goes, "You have more to do. What time is it?" And then he sees the time and she's gone.
Yeah, not sure. Well, I mean, I kind of disagree, but like I see your point. I do see your point.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me your next call.
The ding dong guy.
Okay, no. Okay, yeah.
His death scene.
Oh, his death scene?
I wanted more.
Okay.
I wanted a live castration.
Yeah, he did kill a dog. That's fair.
I wanted a live castration.
Yeah.
I wanted the first ever on-screen. Okay, it's not the first ever, but like, okay.
Yeah.
On a real note though, in a movie, in a thing where someone gets killed by a pen, I feel like the arguably worst moral guy that we're shown in the fucking thing should get killed worse. But that's also just a very fat nitpick.
Yeah, that is a very fat nitpick. I'm gonna be honest, because it's not really about how he gets killed. It's the fact that he kills him.
Yeah. All right.
But,
All right. I'm done.
Oh, you're done? Okay. This is another nitpick. Like, this didn't really bother me that much. It's kind of just funny, but though it like Twitter is eating this show alive because of one unfinished VFX shot.
Oh yeah.
And it was pretty bad. And we talked about it before we started recording. It did kind of take me out of it a little bit, if I'm being honest, because I'm just like, I'd already seen it like on Twitter before I watched it, and then I watched it, I'm like, yeah, that is
I'm gonna be honest.
Bad.
In my personal opinion, I didn't mind it that much because every part of the fight scene around him falling was so good.
Yeah, it was. It
that
was.
it's
Yeah.
like
But I'm saying it's a nitpick because it didn't bother me. It just like it took me out of it because I'm like, yeah,
nah,
I
bro,
see why
it's like the Family Guy
complaining.
thing, bro. Everyone gets one. Everyone gets one bad one.
Everyone gets one.
Born Again had a few bad fight scenes. I excused them.
Yeah, but it wasn't a bad fight. It was just one bad.
Yeah, it was
one singular bad shot.
Yeah. All right. Are we moving to the pros?
Well, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with my comments.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, so we're.
This
Motherfucker just paused the fucking recording to fart.
Hey, bro.
Give me your first pro, bro. Don't play with me.
Okay. This is, since I said I was talking about the scene at the grave, the first scene, when he holds the gun up to his head. What the fuck? Hold on.
What's happening? Oh. We're in a parking lot right now. I think there's a student driver,
Yeah, are they
like on our ass right now.
Are they like trying to do something here?
I don't know, they're reversing.
Oh, they're practicing reversing in a straight line. Okay.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Anyways,
okay.
give your
Completely
first
ignoring that. The scene at the grave where he holds the gun up to his head, that is, in my opinion, one of the best scenes we've gotten in any Marvel project in the last like 10 years.
10 years. Okay, that's going back to 2016.
2016. Like, okay, the portal scene in Endgame.
Yeah.
I would put that up there. Which I kind of include that I Am Iron Man death scene. I kind of include that in there. I consider
the portal scene and the Iron Man is not the same.
They're not the same thing, but they're the same sequence, so I kind of consider it the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, but those two or one definitely go over that. What else?
The Born Again of the very final scene of Matt and Wilson Fisk.
Yeah, that goes over it.
I would put that over it. Outside of that, I don't.
She-Hulk. When she goes to Bruce and goes, I do it infinitely more than you.
The twerk scene.
Oh, Megan Thee Stallion, yeah, that's over it.
Okay. No, but on a real note, I do genuinely think, in terms of what it did for the character and like just how good the scene was acted, everything, it was so fantastic. Like, and I do love when they show suicide representation, even though it does get done wrong a lot.
Yeah.
Which the episode never got posted, but when we did Avatar: Fire and Ash, I said one of the best scenes from that movie was when what's his name, Loak.
Loak, yeah.
When Loak was like on the verge of suicide. That's one of the best scenes from that movie.
Yeah,
and like in this show or in this special, it is the best scene of the special. Is that like? And I don't really take arguments on that. Even though there are a lot of really good scenes in only 40 minutes, that is the best scene by far.
I think that's definitely up there. I think, well, yeah, I agree with that.
Like, okay, out of the big Marvel projects, nothing in Thunderbolts, nothing in Fan 4.
No.
Guardians 3, even though it was good all the way around, I wouldn't...
Did it have a moment?
It didn't have a singular moment like that.
But in...
Guardians
the Peter and Gamora stuff? No?
No.
I thought we were fun. No,
No, because
that's Guardians 3.
That's Guardians 3. I bet we were fun. That's Guardians 3.
Yeah, but that's not better.
Guardians 2, there's nothing.
What, yeah,
Fucking
what
Quantumania, there's nothing.
No.
Like, okay. Like, seriously.
10 years, 5 years, definitely yes.
5 years definitely yes. 10 years, I think as well, though.
It's not the best one in 10 years.
I'm not saying it's not the. I'm not saying it's the best.
One of. It's one of no matter what.
I said it's top 3. I never said it's the best.
I think you can make that argument. Yeah.
I never said it's the best. I think it's top 3. Okay, you want to give your first?
Okay, I'll get my first pro. And I thought that like my first one is that I just think overall the first few sequences set the tone very fucking well. And like, whoa, what are you laughing at?
The fucking Twitter post I showed you.
Which one?
The one of him screaming.
Oh yeah. Okay. Like, I'll say that I do find his John Berthold screams to be a little corny sometimes, but I do think the start of the presentation set the tone pretty well. Obviously, you had the old man having his dog stolen and killed, which is a unique way of showing how fucked New York is at this point. Since I'm pretty sure this is set mostly during like the peak of Born Again season 2, where the city's in like complete chaos. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty good, and I also like how they wasted pretty much no time. I mean, considering it's 45 minutes, you can't really waste time at all. But like, they wasted no time showing how bad Frank's mental state is at this point with that first sequence where he's hallucinating the other Marines and
stuff.
For
45 minutes, they actually paced it very well.
Yeah, I like the sequence coming like, because that sequence where he's like hallucinating the Marines came right after the sequence where the one guy gets his fucking dog killed. Yeah. And so it sets up like a very like personal feel for the special.
Yeah. And since you talked about New York, this is a very specific point I made.
Where's Peter?
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Where is he though?
Where is he though? But this is the most New York that I think New York has ever looked in a Marvel project. Because
yeah.
Bro, every time you see it, it's like clean, pristine, all of the streets look amazing. It's like, that's not New York City. Yeah, that place is a rat hole, bro. Come on now. Like, you actually get to see the, I mean, obviously it's exaggerated because of everything going on, and especially in Little Sicily.
But in terms of like maybe not vibe, because everyone's dying in this, but like in terms of like, I don't even know how to explain it. Just I don't even know if atmospheres are right.
But like the trash,
atmosphere,
the
like bro,
lighting.
like I've been to New York like at least like 4 or 5 times. That is exactly how it looks and feels everywhere you go. Yeah, pretty much.
I've never been to New York City specifically, but I've been to Boston, which is obviously described as very similar.
I'm saying New York City, same thing, it is.
Yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah. I thought that the scene where do we get a first name for her? The Nucci woman?
She's just called Manucci.
Manucci, whatever. The scene where she comes up to him and tells him, like, in detail how he took her family from her was done very well, and I feel like that's, like, it was, like, in terms of, like, strictly just, like a reveal, it's one of the better reveals we've had in a while, because at first you didn't, like, I suspected that, like, I don't know, me personally, the way I interpreted it was that obviously it was setting it up for him not having a purpose. I thought she was going to give him a purpose by being like, I need help. Someone took my family from me and I can't do it myself because I'm in a wheelchair. I need you to help me.
Nah, I'm going to be honest, bro.
That's what I thought it was going to be at first.
I saw the flip around. I saw the bodyguard. I'm like, oh, I know where this is going.
That's what I thought it was at first. But then obviously, like, I just think it was just done really fucking well.
Yeah, that was
general. Like the montage where it shows him killing everyone but not showing that he's the one who does it until like the last guy. Yeah. I thought it was done really well. Yeah.
I haven't one talking about that. Okay. I'll go back to it later when I find it. So this is actually my biggest one on this show.
Okay.
And it is, minus the Netflix Daredevil, this is the best dissection of a character from the comics we have gotten from Marvel at all. The only two I think come close to this are Rocket in the Guardians 3 and Iron Man. But even then, I don't think...
No, not Iron Man.
I don't... Like, obviously, Netflix Daredevil, Fisk, and to an extent, Bullseye, all three of them get amazingly... Like, you see the aspects of their character come together. That is what they do with Frank Castle here.
Moon Knight, I think, is up there.
Maybe. A lot of people had complaints about what they did with him in that show, though. They were like, he didn't, I don't know. We'll talk about that at a different point.
We should review that one day.
One day. But it is genuinely one of the best dissections of a comic book character we have never, and this is a big point for a lot of actually comic fans of the Punisher, is we have never seen a comic accurate Punisher on screen. We've gotten like 4 different iterations and none of them have been comic accurate, and that is what is really significant to me about this one, is it is finally transitioning to what the Punisher should be, even if they are going to a more heroic version of the Punisher.
But that's what he is, though, isn't he?
He's an anti-hero.
Yeah, but okay.
He's a very heroic. He's not an anti-hero like Venom's an anti-hero, but he is an anti-hero.
That's my point. But he's more on the like heroic side than on the villainous side.
Yeah, but like,
because I haven't watched the Punisher show, but from everything I've seen from John Berthel's Punisher, he leans a little too much towards like the darker side of an anti-hero, in my opinion, for the Punisher.
No,
I don't.
They always kind of did him right, but they never did the actual, because every single iteration of the Punisher, almost, we've seen they've altered his backstory, and that changes the symbolism behind his action, which is a big complaint from a lot of people. And even though John Berthel's Punisher did alter the backstory, but they kind of they backtracked and I think fixed what the mistake they made by altering the backstory to give Punisher a show that's actually compelling. Which they obviously, I don't know if you know, in his backstory, he's supposed to, it's actually very important that his family just gets killed by a random crime op gone wrong. But in the show, it's like, oh, it's a DA sting, but then it's actually his like overseer from the military who didn't want to get exposed for his war crimes, getting his family killed using the crime bosses, all of this. Well, I'll talk more about that later because I do have some longer points on that.
All right, fair enough. My next one is that this is the first time I have felt that Marvel have used the rated R rating properly.
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine would not.
Because I think the action was very good and well shot. But what's more important to me, other than like just the fact that they had like good cinematography for their action and good choreography and stuff like that, was the fact that they did not hold back at all with the gore and like the darker tones. In terms of like, this is real violence. Like, I would believe, like, if you had told me,
I will say they've definitely backtracked from Born Again season 1 though. I don't think they're ever beating that fucking.
Oh yeah. The
I think they realized they went in a little too far and backtracked themselves a little bit, and I think they've hit the perfect medium with the gore. Yeah,
with the gore maybe, but it's more so like, this is the first time I genuinely feel like they've used the rated R tones properly.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
in terms of like, I think the gore was really well done, which is obviously important for the character. The action was pretty good and very well shot. Good choreography, good cinematography, all that kind of stuff. And like, because like you look at their other projects, I think Born Again was rated R, both seasons, right?
Technically, yeah. Season 1 and season 2 were both rated
R. I
R.
do think, even though like I liked both of those seasons, I know a lot of people don't like season 1, but like, even though I do think they did a good job, I think in terms of their use of the rated R, like, I think they easily could have made that PG-13.
Season 2, they could have made PG-13.
Season 1 just because of the head crunch.
No, then you also have Matt snapping the dude's leg, or when he breaks the cop's arm.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, they wouldn't have had to change much.
Oh, yeah.
Really. So, like, but, like, I'm saying, like, even though they were good projects, I don't think they used the rated R as much. Deadpool and Wolverine, like, listen, I'm not the biggest Deadpool and Wolverine guy, but like, I think if you could criticize it for one thing, it's that it probably could have done with maybe a bit darker tones, in my opinion.
Yeah, they hint at a lot of stuff, and obviously there's like some gore with Wolverine and Deadpool cutting people and all that. But it's like they could have done more.
But like, when I say darker tones, I mean like, is this the first time we've seen a character genuinely be on the brink of suicide in a Marvel project? Like, genuinely, like, gun in hand about to do it.
Gun in hand, probably. I mean,
or like whatever the equivalent is to that for like whatever character. Like, we like, no matter what they have done to the characters, they have never put them on like, I'm sitting here right now with a gun in my hand, or with whatever in my hand, or about to jump off a building, or whatever it is. I don't think we've ever seen that in Marvel. Like, on the brink of suicide, like about to do it.
I think I'm blanking, but I don't think
we've seen it.
I don't think you're right on that, but if it has happened, it's only like once.
Yeah, like if it has happened, they haven't done it very well for it to be a standout, because we can't even think about it right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I think they used the rated R very well here.
Yeah. I'm gonna move. Let's talk about the Karen scene, actually.
Okay.
The fact that Karen pops up and he's in his wife's hoodie is so, like, genuinely so good for that scene, because it really shows to the fact that Frank, as much as he does have feelings for Karen, that's obviously very expressly stated.
Yeah.
It shows that Karen, to him, will never be more than a placeholder for his wife, and be the living representation of what she would have wanted. Especially with Karen's new darker shift in Born Again, and actual effects of Frank Castle being, like, pushed off on her over the past, like, 10 years of their shows. But that's actually really interesting to me, especially her being in the hoodie. Like, that's the first thing you see.
Is it a hoodie or a shirt? It's a shirt. It's a hoodie. But yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good point. I'll get my next one. Let's see. I think one of the really good things about this show, or not this show, this special presentation, whatever, is that obviously they do deal with, like, very in-depth character work here, but they also do a good job of kind of doing more show instead of tell. Like, they do very subtle character work. And, like, an example that's, like, the sequence where he saves and protects the shop owner, Dre, his family, was done really well, because outside of the good action of that moment where he kills the guy with a fucking pen, which is really cool, where he's given the little paper rose by the little girl, I think her name was Charlie, it was really good, especially since he heard that girl's voice while hallucinating his daughter's voice saying the same thing. And then I just thought that was, like, very, like, a subtle way to be like show you why he's doing these things without being like you don't need a line of him saying like oh my god, like, she reminds me so much of my daughter, I need it. Like, you don't have him do, like, a little mini monologue to himself that sometimes other writers would have him do. Like he actually just does what he does. And the most we get is when he goes to the grave, and I think he's talking to his daughter's grave, and he goes, I met someone today who reminded me of you. Yeah. You don't need more than that. Yeah. You don't need more than that.
Actually, talking about that scene actually was really good, because it was the kind of penultimate scene of Punisher's career in Marvel, because that's the scene where we see him. He has the option of either chasing down Nucci, however you pronounce it, and continuing his passive vengeance, getting revenge on her, obviously finishing the Nucci family off, all of this, or going and saving the little girl and becoming the hero or the protector of the innocent from the crime, from just the random crime that Frank Castle is supposed to be. So, like, in that scene, seeing him run towards the kid was really good. When he was running there, like, bro, when the dude on the bike came by and, like, smashed that bottle and he just blew that shit off, it looked so good. And talking about fight scenes, Punisher has some of the highest consistency in fight scenes in all of Marvel. Like, even if you look at characters who
you think he's better than Daredevil?
Here's my thing. Daredevil has, in my opinion, bad fight scenes. Like, even people love the one shot in the episode 1 of Born Again, where him versus Bullseye. But, like, I think the CGI in that scene looks awful. All of that. I think if you look at some of the earlier Daredevils, you can kind of tell that they're fake fights, which I think is, which I do think is a con sometimes when you're watching, and you can tell that they're not hitting each other. Like, obviously they're not. Everyone knows they're not.
Right.
But if you're able to tell, then it's a problem.
Well, not sometimes. Sometimes they're just like, oh, for the sake of the shot, you just gotta pound me.
You be saying that to me a lot.
Okay, bro. Let's move on. That's not true.
But, like, I do think, and, like, in season 2 of Daredevil, the scene of him in prison is arguably the best one shot. It might not be a one shot. I think it's a one shot, but it is one of the best fight scenes in that show, in my opinion. And it's just consistently Frank Castle, because he obviously doesn't require a lot of special effects or anything like an Iron Man would, or fucking something like that. But it's just, he's just so consistently good, and it's so true to his character of the fucking boxing with an AK. Like, he runs out of ammo and just starts beating the shit out of the dude.
Or it did surprise me the amount of times they've managed to, like, because it didn't feel forced either, but, like, the amount of times he just conveniently runs out of ammo and, oh, there's a magazine right there. Or he runs out of ammo, he's like, oh, well, this is a guy coming in with a fully loaded gun for you who's gonna miss all of his shots, so you can just take it from him. Like, the amount of times he takes the motherfucker's weapons from them. But, like,
to be fair,
it's not a critique or anything, because it did feel natural. But,
yeah, to be fair, I could see it for, like, one of them. For, like, one of the guns he took. But to be fair, most of the time they didn't miss. He just used human shields. And he did get shot.
He did get shot. He did get, I think, sliced with a knife.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it's fair enough. But no, like, it's not even just guns. It's like when he uses like the baseball bats or the fucking like, or I don't know, it was so funny. Or like, I think at one point he literally just whips out a pistol almost out of nowhere. I think he picks it up from like an off-screen location and then fucking. But it like, it was because what makes up for that is that it's just really good fight choreography, so it works.
Yeah, bro.
It's my turn, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. My next pro is that this is kind of like my biggest one for the thing is that I think overall the message, like you kind of talked about this before, but I think the overall message of Frank finding a new purpose and like quote unquote punishing after finally finishing his revenge was good and overall handled pretty well throughout the presentation until the end. Because obviously from the beginning, the whole point of his like character from the start of the presentation is, what are you gonna do now? You already, like, you got everybody. You have no more purpose anymore. Da-da-da-da-da, right? And that's why he sees all the hallucinations, da-da-da. And then by the end of it, his new purpose is, like, protecting people and, like, punishing random crimes instead of just pure vengeance.
Yeah.
And I think it was handled very well. And I think it sets up his character nicely to hopefully be a protector-type figure for Jean Grey or whoever Sadie Sink is playing in Brand New Day, and hopefully be someone that like
She's
you
actually
could make
playing
work next to Spider-Man.
What was the one everyone said? Jenna Gardner or whatever the fuck?
No,
Something like weird one.
I forget, but yeah, like whoever she's playing, it sets them up for it sets them up to be a good like protector type after this, and also someone who you could make work next to Spider-Man and have it actually be good.
Yeah, I have honestly a decent amount of smaller ones left, but I'm going to talk about the 2 or 3 kind of like big ones I have.
Okay.
So I actually have went and watched other people's reviews of this.
Okay.
The most common complaint I've seen is that, well, there's 2. There's one that it doesn't move the plot forward in any sort of way.
For what though?
That's what they say. There's no plot. There's not a real story. It's just 40 minutes of action. Which anyone that says that, I just...
Yeah, 40 minutes of action is not
I just thought
it's 40 minutes of like a character study with a lot of action in there.
Yes, which is literally exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But the other ones is that it's repetitive. Too, because in Netflix Punisher, we see him like start off, and I think in season 1 he retires the Punisher like 2 different times, and then in season 2 he starts, he's not the Punisher, and then and all of that, and people really didn't like that. And they're saying they're kind of sick of seeing him retire. But like people that say that just aren't understanding what is really happening here, because this is it directly says in this special, the Nucci family, the last crime family that was suspected in the killings of Frank Castle's family. So his purpose for this entire time has been eliminating every last one of them. He says that probably about 1 billion times.
Yeah.
Now that every last one of them is gone, he has no purpose, and he's sitting there. And that's why when I don't know the black guy, the military guy who he sees.
Kurt,
is that his name?
Curtis, yeah.
Curtis? Yeah, when Curtis pops up, that's why Curtis directly says, "What's your purpose now, Frank?"
Yeah.
So we see that, and in this show, we see him rediscovering his purpose. When he sits at his daughter's grave, his family's grave, he's holding the gun to his head, and then his daughter pops up in front of him, and that's what gets him to stop, to not shoot himself. It takes him literally just that. And then he goes and he sees Malganucci. And this is the real one that really connects it. Because the biggest complaint everyone has had with every single Punisher variation ever is it is not comic accurate Punisher. Because they change his backstory. They make it to where... Because Frank's backstory in the comics is that his family got killed in a random mob thing. Like a random mob shootout. In every single story, they've changed that in some way, shape, or form. And it kind of changes the symbolism of it. Because if it's a random mob shootout, then Frank Castle has a reason to go and just kill every criminal. That way that never happens to another family randomly. But in this MCU version, it was obviously, it was set up by like the general to kill, to scare Frank away from revealing their war crimes in like Afghanistan or Iraq, wherever he was deployed.
I think it was Afghanistan.
I think it was Afghanistan. But yeah, so like us actually seeing... and let me bring that back to my main point that I'm talking about here. this isn't repetitive because those times he retires before are a lot different from now. He retires because he thinks he doesn't have a purpose anymore, and we see him redevelop that purpose with Maganuchi showing up and showing, and that's when they really dive into what the effect of the Punisher. Because Frank Castle, up until this point, has been just mindlessly doing his deed, thinking, oh, when it's done, I can just disappear. I can just blow my fucking brains out, and it'll all be over. So him seeing Maganuchi, and they explored this in Born Again with the task force, him seeing the effects of the Punisher, what, like the effects of what he's caused, and even though he has done a lot of good, taking out these crime families, doing all of this, the negative effects, like him killing the Ganucci family and the whole Little Sicily being in fucking, like, turmoil and a power struggle they talk in the start. Him seeing these negative effects and him seeing that he has to be more than just this vengeance machine, which is why that, like, penultimate scene where he could choose between Maganuchi and saving the kid, he runs to save the kid, is so important.
Yeah. I agree with a lot of the stuff you said, pretty much everything you just said, but I didn't know that were that those were the complaints that people have.
That's the really big complaint. Everyone's like, oh, it's all action, no story, and it's repetitive. That's everyone's complaint.
I mean, the repetitive stuff, I could see why they say it.
I can understand why you would feel that, but you have to look at it from more than just a baseline point of view.
Sure, but like the zero plot, all action, no story stuff, I think these are people who have never seen a character study before.
That's a Justin take.
A little bit, yeah, because it's like, you don't need, like that's one thing that kind of annoys me about...
That's like people
about comic book movies in general, which is, some people don't understand that sometimes the best comic book movies, like their stories, like sometimes...
They're not extravagant. You don't need a large scale.
It's not about extravagance or large scale. A lot of people can't comprehend that a comic book movie can be amazing without a human villain who's a big bad at the end. Like, you can make a great show, a great movie, and have the main villain be the fucking main character. Yeah. Like, and it could just be a full-on character study.
Some of the best pieces in recent years we've gotten in any terms of, like, fiction have been a man versus self dynamic.
Exactly, yes.
Like, to an extent, Wonder Man, that was man versus self in a lot of ways.
The best part about Wonder Man is that there was not a main villain.
Yeah, like, obviously there was the fucking DODC, and but all
that's
of that.
Not,
but
that's an antagonistic figure. But that's not the big bad where it's like, that's the penultimate scene is you finally winning the fucking fight. It's like, no, that's not. Every comic book movie does not have to end with Batman fucking finishing the Joker off and putting him in prison.
we don't need fucking Superman versus Zod.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't need that in every movie. That's why, in my opinion, the best Batman movie is Matt Reeves' one, because at the end, the movie doesn't end with him putting away the Joker. The movie ends with him becoming an actual fucking hero.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the movie. The movie is not about, oh my god, the Riddler has so much aura. It's about, oh, like, we're actually fucking making good character work with this character, and that's why that movie's so well received. And people look at this and they're like, well, it has no plot. It had plot, you just can't see it because you don't look close enough.
Yeah, like, a lot of people, and I don't mean this as like a mean thing, a lot of people just genuinely don't know how to look at something from a deeper point of view. And that is because, like, I've taken a lot of, like, actual literature classes where we sit and we have to actually discuss, we have to take into the account, like, what, like, the time period it was made, all of that. So when that's, like, the way of thinking that you've been taught to do, whether it's for one thing or another, you kind of just learn to view that through everything. And viewing Frank Castle, who is a real life figure, we're not going to discuss it that much because we already talked about it before. He's a real life figure. You have to take him and you really have to talk about the effects of him as a character, and you have to force Frank Castle, who has never considered pretty much anyone but himself in his own vengeance past, and force him to consider that, to actually become the Punisher, to become what he's supposed to be. Okay, yes, you could have him just run around and fucking kill the few crime families, and then that be it. Have it be, yeah, it's an okay plot, whatever. Like, most people, the consensus for the Netflix Punisher show is it's like an 8 out of 10. Like, no one, it's like a 7 or an 8. No one really says it's amazing or anything. But then you can go with something like this, which, even if it's only 45 minutes, they do a really good deep dive into his character. And this is something that got cut out of our mall episode, But a character who is stereotyped constantly as just one thing when he is not that. He is not just a raging beast, even though that is a lot of what we see and it is important to his character. That is not all that Frank Castle is.
I think, what were the characters? We said it was the Punisher,
Maul, Hulk to an extent, Kratos.
Like, before the 20. I think after the 2 games, it's not really like this.
Yeah, before the 2018 ones.
Before the 2018 ones, yeah.
Like characters like that. I mean, a lot of times Batman gets typecasted into that as well. It's just he's big enough that
the Batfleck, yeah.
The Batfleck.
Batfleck, yes.
It's because a lot of people can't really see a lot of things about Batman. They just see the fucking.
Don't get me started on Batfleck, bro, because I could spend an hour talking about.
They just see the fear aspect of Batman.
I can talk for an hour about all the things I despise about Batfleck and Snyder as a whole.
Let's start with the cowl. Okay, no, moving on. Let's get back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, I only have. How many pros do you have left?
I have like 4 or 5 smaller ones.
I have one smaller one, and that's the.
Yeah,
by the end of it, the suit I thought I was really good.
But let me finish what I'm saying. But like, I really like the new direction Marvel is going, and this year
with like more character studies,
with genuine deep dives into characters, which obviously Daredevil's always been that. So I'm not going to talk about Born Again, but Wonder Man, Vision Quest later this year, which is supposed to be a lot. Like apparently it's supposed to be heavy into Vision's character, which is something we have not gotten before.
Yeah.
Brand
Somehow
New Day.
Star-Lord's going to be there. Yeah.
Brand New Day, which is going to be into Peter Parker's character in a way that we've never seen before, because he's always.
We hope. Because there's a lot of stuff going on in that movie.
Supposedly, it's supposed to be in that, but like
that one. Let's wait and see, because there's a lot of stuff supposed to happen in that movie.
In my opinion, this is the best possible direction that CBMs as a whole could be leaning, especially with the Superman last year being maybe it wasn't a full character study at all, but it definitely showed a lot more about Superman that we haven't seen in a long time.
It was like. It wasn't a character study. It was more so a study of like the ideology of Superman.
Yes,
if anything, not him as a character as much.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. But like in terms of just CBMs in general, I love that we're getting away from just focusing. Clayface. That later this year, that is a character study. That is just by definition a character study.
Yep.
So I love that we're seeing just deep dives into these characters, because when you have hundreds, if not thousands of comics printed, your character is going to be complex, like in a lot of ways. And like, I love that we're seeing that now, and we're not just seeing dark, gritty, or large scale fights. Like, as much as I like Age of Ultron a lot more than a lot of people, but Age of Ultron really did not dive into what Ultron is as much as it should have been. And part of that is because they made it a Tony Stark creation, which I hate, but whatever. I'm gonna move on from that.
They needed Scott Lang.
I'm gonna move on from that. But like, I really like the new direction. As good as like the large scale Infinity War Endgame, as good as those movies are.
Well, we're getting that either way. We're getting Doomsday Secret War.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get that either way. As good as movies like that are, as good as that
and we're getting Man of Tomorrow, which is kind of along those lines.
As good of a viewing experience as that is, thinking from that perspective is so limiting for CBMs, and I love seeing something like this where you take a man like John Bernthal, who has read, I think he said he's read like every Punisher comic, and he co-wrote this, or like Charlie Cox, who is.
Admittedly, I was kind of nervous when I saw that he was going to be like writing this.
Yeah,
because I was like, God, is he just going to cook up some bullshit?
No, or like Charlie Cox, who's like is Daredevil, or Vincent D'Onofrio, who has read, like, I think he said he's read almost everything with Wilson Fisk in it. Like, these dudes who know the characters and are willing to dedicate their
Which, by the way, that should be almost like an industry standard if you're playing comic book characters.
It should be an industry standard, but it's not.
Because here's the thing. How many times do you... Okay. This
do we want to save this for the second segment?
No, because this isn't really about that. But this could turn into a big grind, so I want to try to keep it short. How many times, whether it's an actor, a director, a producer, a writer...
I just got the worst cramp.
Okay, I'll say it again. How many times have we seen, when it comes to comic book movies, a writer, a director, a producer, an actor, or whatever, talk about the comic books, the source material, as if it's not valid or goofy or whatever?
Oh my God. Don't even get me started on Fox X-Men.
No, Fox X-Men. I saw something recently about the Lanterns producer for that show. He said something that really pissed me off.
Or he said like the green is too goofy. Right?
No, it wasn't about the green. It was after. It was no. I'll tell you about it later, because we probably can't fit all that in here right now. But you see a lot of this happen where it's like like Sydney Sweeney never picked up a Madam Web. You know she didn't.
Yeah.
Like, or I don't know. I'm trying to think. Paul Rudd has never read an Ant-Man comic.
Jeremy Renner has never read a Hawkeye comic in his
Never.
life. He is, as much as like his character is entertaining, he is not Hawkeye in the slightest.
Imagine, I'm not even trying to say that to like shit on these actors.
No, he did a good performance, but like, dude.
But like, I'm not trying to say this to shit on these actors. It's more so like, as an actor, right? Most of the time, your only source material is just the script, right?
Yeah.
But if you get a role that has decades worth of source material, why are you not trying to use as much of that as you possibly can?
The only excuse is if you're an original character in the project. That is the only excuse
Yeah,
you will
but, like,
ever get.
that's what
But
I don't understand, bro.
And this isn't just for the character playing that character.
Like, I know Gal Gadot never picked up a Wonder Woman comic. I know she didn't.
Nah, bro. Like, and this isn't even just for, like, it should be an industry standard, not just for the main actor, but for everyone in that room to know the source material by heart. Dude,
Yeah.
like, I'm telling you, if I were to walk into Avengers Doomsday and I see fucking Pedro Pascal not have any sort of emotion in any of his acting directed towards Victor Von Doom, that is just bad from his part. That is not what he should be doing. I don't care if the director isn't telling you to do that. You need to take it in your own hands. And that is why I have so much respect for Henry Cavill.
Yep,
Because
yep.
as bad as Man of Steel was, as bad as BVS
You
was,
cannot shit on him.
you cannot shit on Henry
You
Cavill
can't.
because reports have come out years later saying he was the only thing saving those movies from being even worse than they were, from being just the boys knockoffs.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's why, like, I will always have respect for Henry Cavill, for Superman, The Witcher.
he's also
Because he got fired from the Witcher because he wanted to make it source accurate, and they didn't want to do it.
Yeah, they wanted to change the plot, which, like, dude, oh my god, I hate when studios do that. Because, like, okay, I watched an interview from Charlie Cox, the Daredevil actor, and he talked about it. Because a lot of people talk about comic accuracy in shows and stuff like that. They're never gonna do a one-to-one from a comic.
Yeah, no.
Ever.
Unless it's like an animated movie. Those are the only times
Unless it's like an
they
animated
really
movie,
lean into that.
because it's always, in his own words, it would be a foregone conclusion. Everyone would be like, oh well, I can just look this up and see how it ends.
Yeah.
Like, and something like that. They're gonna change stuff. Like, stuff should be changed.
Yeah, stuff should be changed, for sure, yeah.
But it should still resonate with the character. Like, I should not be watching fucking My Mom is Martha too. Like, I should not be watching that shit, bro. And I know that wasn't a Ben Affleck thing, because Ben Affleck is an amazing actor. I know that was a Zack Snyder thing. But as this main actor getting casted in these large roles, especially for large, like, big figures like Ben Affleck, or like a fucking Jake Gyllenhaal with Mysterio, you should be able to look at it and say no. Like, and use a little bit of pull.
Like, listen, I'm not trying to shit on Ben Affleck. I think he's a great actor, but did he ever read more than 10 comic runs from?
No. I believe Ben Affleck read the comic runs. I just don't think he could get any. Because Ben Affleck is he is really smart as well, and all of that.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Did he? Because here's the thing: if you're making a character so different from the source material, did he even do it?
I think.
Because at that point, can you even blame him? If you're making a character, like, okay, we're going a little too off track here. But
I'll get my last little piece in. With how different it was, I think it was just Zack Snyder being that, like, trying to give his own interpretation on it so hard.
Yeah.
But whatever.
But yeah, basically, all in all, we're very happy that they have basically made this close to the comic version of the character thematically, because a lot of other projects have tried to steer off and not really done it well.
Yeah.
Should we, or do you have a few more left?
I just have a few more of little, like, attention to detail things. The fact that they still keeping, because I don't know if he ever studied in Born Again. Maybe I'm wrong, but the fact that we got to hear the rhyme, the one batch, two batch, penny and dime, which is obviously the rhyme of the book that his daughter's favorite book before she died.
Yeah.
That was, I loved that.
That was really good.
In Daredevil season 2, the first 4 episodes are like the best 4 episodes of that show, and Punisher's the main thing. And then every single time you hear one batch, two batch, penny and dime, it's like, you know, heat is coming, and like they have him at the grave reading that off. I mean, when Maganucci, when she's talking to him and she goes like, loneliness is a hunger, and she's talking about that to Frank, and it's describing the old Frank, the fucking depraved, doing anything he can to make up for his like loneliness and all of that. Like, just little attention to detail scenes like that. That's what I mean when I say characters that love the source material. Not characters that just know what they're going to be doing.
Like, actors, you mean?
Yeah, or actors, I mean. Like, not actors that just like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like, Batman's cool.
Or like an Ezra Miller, like, oh yeah, I've heard of the Flash. Yeah. Not like that. Like a character who actually knows the character they're gonna be playing, loves that character, and will dedicate themselves to that character. Which, to be fair to John Bernthal, he has always been dedicated to the Punisher. It's just not until now was he able to actually put his own vision into it, I think. Because I think this is the first one where he was actually a co-writer. I don't think he ever was co-writing on the Punisher Netflix show. But yeah, I mean, to not get too repetitive on the points, I think that's the last one that I'm gonna make.
Yeah, I don't have anything else. I said at the end, like, my last one was like, I really liked the suit, but so we'll probably see it more in Brand New Day.
Well, we saw it in the trailer. We already know we're gonna see more.
Yeah. But like, this is the first time we got like a real action, like in action.
Yeah.
Like, look at it, and I really liked it. But we'll probably wrap up this segment here. I'm actually happy that we managed to get to 45 minutes because I didn't think it was going to take us that long. But
we officially have more runtime on this than the show did, than the special did.
True. Yeah, true. That is true. We spent half of it shitting on Zack Snyder, but that's okay.
No. Should we just make the second segment Zack Snyder? Can we spend an hour shitting on Zack Snyder?
No, we cannot, unfortunately. But we're gonna wrap up this first segment here. If you are on YouTube, the second segment will be released in a separate video. It'll be released right after this one. If you're on Spotify, just wait like 30 seconds and you'll hear the second segment start. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comments, hype, all that stuff. If you're on Spotify, follow the Spotify, like, download, all that stuff. We'll see you guys in the second segment.